Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hey, Penny Ann. Oh, what you got cooking? I heard you got some recipes.
Yeah, she does. She's making me hungry with that recipe. Oh, my gosh.
Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Welcome to the show. Everybody's starting to slide in.
Yeah.
Glad to see anything. 3 ingredients, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, Brian Barber. Let's see here. Who else we got rolling in here? Boy, lots of nice 2 eggs. Look at that recipe.
Roger. Hi, Roger.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I'm glad she put that in there. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we got our affiliate links are down in the comment sections on the YouTube tab. So make sure and check them out when y'all have a chance. So what we got going on today, Barb?
Well, we have Bigfoot Michigan Rob is here. And
all right.
I finished saying hi to everybody that's in. Roger, hi, Roger, Tammy, Charles.
Prospecting USA, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and Russell, hey, Russell. So
wait, say there, Eric. Eric, you're supposed to stay on top of me.
Hey,
that didn't
Eric.
Sound good, did it, Eric? He's laughing.
Already taking us in the ditch, Grizzly.
Tammy Johnson. So everybody's starting to slide in. So we got Bigfoot Michigan Rob, eh? Hey, Debbie.
Yeah, he is fantastic. He's a fantastic encounter. It's terrifying, but so if we can hold the questions until he's done, because he is on a time schedule today, because he's having issues with his internet service, and has some, somebody coming to work on it, like within it probably an hour. So we want to be able to, get through it.
Okay.
So I guess we can go ahead and bring him on.
All right, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, come on down. How you doing here, kind sir?
Hey,
I'm doing fantastic. When you bleeped me off the screen, I thought I had an issue already.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I think we should be. I think we should be good. I'm on these internet people like daily, it seems, and I gotta tell you, I'm like probably their best and worst customer.
Right.
When you do podcasting, like I do, and I do see a lot of people that Penny Van, she's always in my chat room. Hi, Penny. Hi, Roger. Catherine.
Awesome.
I see a lot of people that obviously you guys, we have some familiarities already to get started.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's always awesome.
So Rob, everybody, if you don't know, he has a Facebook page and a YouTube channel by the name Bigfoot Michigan Rob is what you go by on all of them, right? But also he is also an author. This book is so fantastic. It's about 50 encounters.
Yeah, about 50, 45. Yeah, 45.
Okay. Yep. And it's fantastic. And it's actual witnesses that have contacted you, right? And
yes, it is. It's really, Barb, getting to that. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. It really means a lot. And the book, Bigfoot Michigan Rob Presents True Cryptid Encounters, is on Amazon. I released it about a month ago. Thank you for that. The artwork, by the way, is by my buddy Jason McLean.
Oh, that's great.
That's really eye-popping. And so thank you so much for that. And I do appreciate it. And,
this is a great, it's an easy read, it's like you can, I'm whizzing right through it and I'm like, so this is book 1. So I can't wait for book 2.
Well, I got 2 other books in the work as we speak. Book 2 and another one of my personal life experiences. So,
cool.
So I'm always busy with that, and I'm very pleased with that. And thank you again. Yeah, but it's 45 stories. Back in 2018, it all started for me, right? And then I started my YouTube channel. It's been out for 2 years now. And over the years, you guys, I've been inundated with subscribers to the channel or emails, because my email is public, of people that tell me their encounters and they want to be in anonymity. Mm-hmm. They don't want to come on my show. They don't want their face seen because they don't want to be judged. So there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's factory workers, there's Walmart workers, every walk of life. They just look, we got to tell the story, but in anonymity. So I talked to a lot of these people. I said, look, I'm going to do a book on this. And I posted some videos on them as well on my channel. And they're like, yeah, we give you the go ahead. So it's comprised of people that have had true cryptid encounters from
Great.
the majority of the book is Bigfoot and Dogman. And it's very easy to read, as you said. It's 45 stories, sums them up nicely, and I am proud of it. And thank you for promoting that. I appreciate that.
I think
Absolutely.
it's really a great book for for like a young adult or like even a teen, right? Like because if they're into that, I mean, oh my gosh, I would have loved something like this as a teen. Whoa,
me too. It's great because when I was writing it, it was like, I like to appease all the masses, because if I was 13 years old, so you're not going to find there's not a lot of scientific words.
Right.
You don't have to have your phone to look up a word.
Yeah.
But again, a person is 40 years old would enjoy it. And it's a quick read. It's an easy read. And you don't have to read it chapter 1 to chapter 50. You can pick any story at random.
Right.
Which I liked that too. So I'm happy with the format of it.
That's great. Awesome. So let's just get right into it, because people there is quite a few people that have not heard your story.
Okay. So. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And, I do like telling the story. It all started for me. I mean, even the way Bigfoot Michigan Rob, my mom and dad, first of all, didn't name me Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I had a Bigfoot encounter and I had nowhere to go. I was lost and alone. And someone had suggested, Rob, you got to make a video on YouTube and you got to speak on it. It's good therapy. You just got to exude it. So I went on like Sasquatch Chronicles and a couple others. I was a novice. I was very poorly. I did a poor job. So I did my own video. And I'm like, well, now you got to make a YouTube handle, because I never used YouTube to watch videos. I watch music videos. I never knew that you could type in how to fix a flat. I just didn't really use it, right?
Right.
So when I have to make this video, you got to make that YouTube handle. So I'm like, well, okay. I mean, and this is before I even started a channel, right? I said, well, I saw a Bigfoot. My name's Rob. I live in Michigan. So the Bigfoot Michigan Rob channel evolved. Never had a plan to have my own podcast or live shows. I just want to do the video. And I've been trying to, I said to some of the people that follow me now, I was thinking about changing the name. No, stick with the name. So it's been out there for 2 years. I'm sticking with it, and that's who I am. And that's how the channel name evolved.
Yeah.
But how I got into it, though, was I will say this first. Growing up, I was always interested in monsters. My dad brought me up on Lon Chaney, the Wolfman, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, awesome. What was the Mummy, all the black and whites. So as a young child, I was always into monsters and mayhem. And then I came across Leonard Nimoy, did In Search Of, where he had the Bigfoot. Then I seen the Patty video. So in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, this is fascinating. So that's how. So I always liked the high strangeness, UFOs, aliens, you name it, right? So never had an encounter experience. And prior to my encounter, I will say I did see ghosts. I saw UFOs, and as a young man growing up into adulthood. But when it comes to this took place in June 15th of 2018. And the girl I was dating at the time, Cindy, I had been dating her for a few years. And I being an outdoorsman, she was not much of an outdoorsy girl. But I said, look, let's do some fishing in Cadillac, Michigan, Lake Cadillac, to be more specific. And she goes, well, really? I said, yeah, well, you got to go, because I already booked us a cottage and a small boat to go fishing. So you're coming. If you're not coming, I'm going by myself. Reluctantly, she goes, okay, whatever. So, it was like a Wednesday, I think. It was the middle of the week, June 15th, the summer, of course. And we head up to Lake Cadillac. We get to Lake Cadillac, pull up to the cottage. went down to the place where I rented the boat, got everything together. Then we proceeded on the lake about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, do some fishing. Now, Lake Cadillac, everybody, is a very sizable lake. I mean, if you Google map it, you'll see it. It's big. And it's surrounded by a lot of big houses, a lot of small business, and it's got a cute little town with a lot of little restaurants, bars, and shops. So there's a lot of activities for her as well. We start the day fishing, and we're just enjoying the day. Beautiful day. And after about the first hour, Barb and Grizzly and everyone listening, she's getting bored. We're not even getting a nibble. There's, we're not, She looks at me, really? You drug me out here for this? So I said, okay, let's do some exploring. So I'm tooling about the lake. Then I come across this channel. Now, this channel connects to another lake, very sizable, called Lake Mitchell. Now, Lake Mitchell is pretty much as big as Cadillac, but the beautiful thing about this was not as many homes, there's no business, and the backdrop was the Manistee National Forest. Beautiful, beautiful that I can see right now in my head. Beautiful green forest. The sun was high and orange. The sky was blue. You could hear the chirping of birds. It's great. There's no one on the lake. It's the middle of, the summer, the afternoon. People are at work. So I'm like, very good. So we start drifting along the shoreline, paralleling the lake. And as I told Cindy, okay, let me get the tackle together. So I'm looking down in the boat, and I got the rod and reel out, and I'm readjusting our lures. When she says to me, hey, Rob, I think somebody's throwing rocks at the boat. I'm like, really? So I look up to the shoreline, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. No human beings, nothing. I'm like, Cindy, I think it's probably some bait fish. Now I'm getting excited because she's thinking it's a rock. I'm thinking it's fish jumping. So we're in a good area. I'm like, just let me. So I kind of blew her off, you guys, and I went back looking down, doing the tackle. 60 seconds later, Rob, more emphatically, someone's throwing rocks at the boat, she says. And I look up, a little perturbed. I look, Cindy, nobody is there. Do me a favor. Let me get our tackle, the rod and reel together. I'll join you and we'll observe the shoreline, and I'll look for these people throwing rocks or whatever. So I get back to doing my business with the rod and reel. So for whatever the reason, I look up and I see something falling out of the sky. Again, a beautiful blue sky. There's an object falling. I'm like, what the heck is this? And sure and behold, it's a rock about the size of a baseball that falls about 3 to 4 feet in front of the boat.
Wow.
And this boat, you guys, it's not a Ranger bass boat. It's not a rowboat, but it's like a skiff. It's big enough for 2 people. And that's pretty much it. We had a little cooler on there, just good enough to tool around the lake.
Gotcha.
She's standing up, so I look at her to kind of apologize and say, yeah, I think someone's tossing rocks. But when I look at her, she's standing up. It's June 15th, and Cindy, sun goddess, she already had a blazing tan going. She had her little 2-piece on or whatever she was wearing. Head to toe, that tan was totally drained. Her body is completely white. And I'm looking at her, and she's gazing at the shoreline. And I'm like, what in the hell is she looking at? So I gaze my vision into the area she's looking at. And there I see, standing on shore, at least 9 foot tall, is a reddish brown covered humanoid. And I always say humanoid at the beginning. It stood tall. It had this long flowing red, black, reddish brown, blackish hair standing there. I'm 90 feet from shore, so I get a very good look at this. The face on this thing, it looked like a person with a deformity, or almost like it had Down syndrome. It looked like a human, but not really, if that makes any sense. Because it certainly didn't look like a person I've ever seen in my life. Very odd looking. The eyes are offset. One is kind of drooping down, one's higher. It had a flat nose, and it's like it got this gray, wrinkled, scaly looking skin. Big head. I know it's like a big jaw, and it looked very creepy. Now, I will say this though, you guys, that flowing reddish brown hair is beautiful. I mean, it was like it's something I like to have hanging on my wall in my house.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, trying to process this. I don't even have time to process this because it has its arms are on its side, but then now it lifts the arms parallel to the shoreline. And now and as it does this, that humanoid looking, Down syndrome looking person, it all of a sudden changes and metamorphoses. That wrinkled brownish skin kind of gets very taut. He kind of rolls his shoulders back, and his jaw extends or detaches and drops down 6 to 8 inches. It opens his mouth, in an gaping mouth. You guys know that video game in the 80s, Pac-Man. How it was just like that big old mouth and it gobbled up everything on the video game. Reminds me of that. But I see 4 distinct teeth. Now, again, I'm close. I'm 90 feet. On the bottom are there 2 teeth coming up, kind of like incisors. They're relatively long. Wow. The top 2 teeth were like canine, but much like a Doberman Pinscher or German Shepherd, but much larger. But when it rears that back, it to me, I always describe it looking like a demon. It really looked terrifying. But really what's terrifying out of this is the fact that when it dropped the jaw, exposed the teeth, you could put a bowling ball in it, for gosh sakes. But it lets out this insidious roar, scream, and yell, all in unison. Mouth doesn't move, and this roar from the shoreline is now, it's coming across to where we are at the boat. I can feel the reverberation hit me in the chest. It hits me. I can feel it. And I stumble back a little bit, right? What I like to explain is, you ever see like when they drop, like you've seen on videos where they drop a bomb, and now when it hits the center point of its target, then you see that wave kind of shoot out. It kind of, I didn't see that, but it's kind of, my mind sort of felt like that power, like a sonic blast. Well, as I made mention, I kind of felt it in my body, stumble back. Cindy, 5'1", 109 pounds, small thing. She gets knocked off the boat into water. So now, and this thing is a terrifying demon, as I say. And here's the thing, though. When it made the transformation, the metamorphosis, the reason I tell everybody, beautiful green backdrop of Manistee National Forest, the blue sky, the beautiful orange of the sun, everything now for me, when I'm experiencing this, it kind of gets dull. The colors are now faded, almost black and white, if you will. I feel like that I'm now not losing time, but time has stopped. It was a very grainy image in my vision. And I know now that I have to go to my right to get Cindy into the boat. I was very paralyzed, terrified, because I now am paralyzed. When I go to move to the right, you guys, I can't move. I literally cannot move. Now, whether that was shock, whether that was something else, I don't know. And I can't. And my vision is it's off. Again, it's grainy. It's black and white. It's slow motion. I start shaking my head. I finally snap out of it. I regain the color. I regain my senses. I go to get Cindy. I get her in the boat. Now where I'm really, even if that's not terrifying enough, I'm really scared at this. I look back to this being, this creature on the shoreline. Now it's gone. So I'm thinking in my head, and first of all, I'm trying to process this entire incident. I get these thoughts. Where is it? Is it underwater swimming after us? Is it going to get us? Whatever. So I quickly said, I'm just getting out of here. I sped the boat around and I jettisoned across Lake Mitchell. I got to that canal, got on Lake Cadillac, and I beeline all the way to where I docked. I launched the boat, which seemed like it took like an eternity. I just wanted to get off that water. Finally get to the resting spot, the docking spot, I should say, for the boat. Get out. Cindy is shivering. I think we had a beach towel or something or a blanket on the boat, cover her up. I immediately get out of the boat and I start searching for someplace where we can go sit down. About a half block up, I find this bar, restaurant on the corner, which is nice. Again, as I said earlier, it's like midday, summer, a lot of people at work. So not a lot of people are in this bar. Walk in. To the right, there's a group of people. To my left, I look and there's a corner booth in the back corner. No one there. I'm like, good. So I beeline, take Cindy there. We sit down across from each other, not saying anything to each other. The barmaid, the waitress comes up to the booth to serve us, to greet us. Now Cindy, not a drinker, not a smoker. Never seen her drink a drop since we had been dating. Barmaid goes to her first, being the woman, and says, "Hey, what do you have?" And she goes, "I'll take a bottle of Bud Light and a shot of Jack Daniels."
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa. And then the barmaid turns to me and says, "Sir, what would you have?" I said, "You know what? I'll have the same, but make mine a double." Again, she goes back. Cindy and I are still not talking to each other. We're just, I think both of our minds are processing this entire
shock.
Barmaid comes back with a drink. Cindy takes that shot of Jack. She throws it back like a champ, like she's been doing this her entire life. Takes that bottle of Bud Light, rinses it down. I do the same. Do my shot, do both my shots, and pounded probably that full bottle, right? I look, now we're looking at each other. She says to me, "Honey, what do you think that was?" And my reply was, "Honey, I don't know. What do you think that was?" You know, she goes, "I don't know. I think it might have been that Bigfoot creature." Now, when I say that, everybody, it's very interesting to note that she and I had never discussed Bigfoot, cryptids. You know, sure, did we watch the horror flick on television? Yeah, but nothing that was never discussed. So I says, "Yeah, I think it might have been." I'm still not quite sure because I see the Nimoy. You know, I seen Patty. This did not look like this, but I said yes. So she says, "You think we should report it to the DNR? Call the sheriff, whatever?" I'm like, "Look, I gotta tell you something. We're out of towners. The story doesn't make a lot of sense right now to me, even despite the fact that we've seen this. I'm not going to tell some guy, hey, you know, I just saw some humanoid person turn into a demon and yell at me."
Yeah.
You know? I'm just not doing it. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
So she agrees to that. But, you know, it kind of stunk because, you know, it ruined, it took, you know, we left, you know, within a couple hours, finished our lunch, went back, packed up, and we went home. We left home for home. But when we get home, you know, we immerse ourselves now into the subject of Bigfoot. You know, I had made mention I never really used YouTube or anything. So she's on the computer, on the laptop, putting in demon, putting in Bigfoot. I'm doing the same, but I also am on YouTube. Now, for the first time in my life, you guys, other than music videos, I'm typing in Bigfoot, this, that, whatever, watching these videos and stuff like that. And, you know, it just wasn't doing it for me. I never seen the image that I saw at Lake Cadillac, or Lake Mitchell, really, wasn't what I saw. So I was dissatisfied with this. So then I found that there were groups out there, right, that had shows and podcasts. And again, this is 2018, so they're not really as prevalent as they are today. I mean, today it's a podcast everywhere you look. But this was not I wasn't getting it, right? So, but we continued our research, what they call it, couch potato research, whatever, And so here's where it really gets bad. First of all, I got to preface this by saying Cindy's mom, never liked me because I owned a bar. I was the devil because I owned a bar. Never liked me from day one. I got to say that first, because that comes into the story just a little bit. So I get a call. So again, this encounter took place June 15th of 2018. On August 15th of 2018, exactly 2 months to the date of the encounter, her mom calls me. We didn't live together, me and Cindy. We were, waiting or whatever. And calls me and tells me that Cindy passed away in her sleep, alleged heart attack. My girlfriend, 2 months ago, I have Bigfoot experience or whatever it was. 2 months later, she's gone. After we are thoroughly immersed in trying to figure out what the hell we saw. Now I got to process this creature. I got to process the death. Her mom wouldn't tell me nothing. And to this day, and we were married. Her mom, I haven't spoken to her mother since. I couldn't even tell you if her mom's still don't know her real cause of death. So I started thinking, well, when it yelled, when it screamed, yelled, and cast that reverberation, that shock wave, as I call it, I'm thinking maybe it messed up her internal organs. Because the reason I told you guys she don't drink or smoke is because to have a heart attack, she's only like 40.
Right.
I mean, that don't add up to me.
No.
So I'm thinking this creature that we saw did it. So I was ready to go back to this spot. And I swear, if I was a military man with a bunch of weapons, I'd have grabbed some buddies and I would have went looking, because I wanted to go back and find this thing and frankly kill this thing. I did.
Sure.
That's how my mind was.
Yeah.
So now I can't get no information on the cause of death in this. And I owned a bar, as I said. So I went in a very deep, dark place in my life during this time period. I went to my bar manager, who was with me for the majority of my years. I said, look, man, don't ask for any explanation. Here are the keys. Do me a favor. Take the money on every shift, drop it all in the bank following morning. Just please don't rip me off. I got something I have to take care of, and I don't know when I'm coming back. Because you guys, I did not know if I was ever going to come back. Because my mind is shot. I suffer from nightmares, PTSD, dreams. And at the same time, I'm trying to research this. And for the longest time, I could not find a person that I could A, trust, or B, that I really wanted to tell my story to, because it sounded so ludicrous, right? Then I finally found a group. My buddy Tex, from Texas Front Porch. I think you guys know who he is.
Yeah.
A lot of the people in chat probably do. And so we became buddies, and he walked me through it. This guy, Kerry Arnold from Bigfoot Odyssey. I spoke with him ad nauseum. Rob, you're not going crazy. In fact, it kind of reminded me of his encounter when he didn't go back in the woods as a avid hunter for all those years. So I became friends with him, and he talked me off the ledge. Not that I was going to
we understand.
Drastic, but I just thought I was just a weirdo, right?
Just an awful place to be in.
So he helped me a lot. God rest his soul, of course. And so it kind of started me on the journey where I am today, And then I was told you got to speak on it. Again, I went on a couple shows, spoke on it, did that dumb little video, which I, by the way, have taken down because I look like such an idiot. I mean, that is I got it out, but it was so embarrassing. I had 2,000 views after 3 days. Probably my best video I've ever done, right? You know, I took it down. But I've told the story ad nauseum many times. And, you know, and I told last year, I was telling my audience on the channel, I'm not telling my encounter anymore. But you know how much flack I got? And my audience doesn't give me flack. No. I've heard it. I want to hear it again. And also, you're helping other people.
Yes.
That don't want to come forward, because I know I was lost. I was alone and did not know where to go. And that's the reason why I started the Bigfoot Mission Rob channel. I tell people's encounters. I talk to researchers. I wrote the book because these people in the book are lost people right now, currently, right? So they just want their story put out there. And so what I do, it's not for fame and fortune. I feel that I have to give back what happened to me because it was not given to me. You guys, when I tell you that I was lost and alone in a deep spot, I'm just being nice. I could verbalize this way worse. You know, the way I felt inside my mind. I didn't know how long I was going to last. I didn't. And but you know, during you know, my channel, doing that is therapy for me. Writing the book is therapy, and discovering you, Bob, No Drama, Bigfoot, Grizzly Chris, nice to meet you, and all the wonderful people I've met in chat. So supportive, right? And you know, it's like my new career, right? I sold the bar prior to the pandemic, and which is now out of business because during that time, and I feel bad about that. So yeah, you guys. So this is where I am today. That's why I'm Bigfoot Rob, and today I'm good. Today, you know, back then I was just this lost guy, but today I'm fine. I'm mentally stable. I don't think Bigfoot is a demon, or at least I don't think it killed Cindy. Do I know that for certain? I don't. I'm not the guy that says Bigfoot is a friendly forest giant, because I can't believe that today. Now, you don't hear about Bigfoot running around the forest killing people. You don't. You know, we've heard about the LBL with Dogman, and yeah, I get that as well. But I just don't trust any cryptid out there. So I don't want people going out in the woods looking for Bigfoot thinking it's all hunky-dory, because you can't trust something that we don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Wow. And you know what? Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
And the people that it's such a profound and traumatic thing. Gosh, it really, I mean, talk about life changing.
I tell you what, who would have thought that 5 years ago? Okay, I had the encounter, fine. Okay, I'm through that. But I never would have thought that I'd create a channel, wrote a book, researched Bigfoot, and now I'm into all the cryptids outside of Bigfoot. I'm more into UFOs. I mean, I'm into all high strangeness, everything weird. I'm a proud member of the weird family, right?
Yeah,
and I proudly say that today.
Yeah,
because it's no weirder than following, well, politics.
Whatever.
Right?
Yeah. You know, I had some questions. Do you think that you and your girlfriend were hit with infrasound?
Well, yeah, again, going back, I had no idea what that was. Now I've looked into that, spoke to many different people. But you know, with infrasound, okay, what I know about infrasound, our natural mammals, you know, the tiger, the elephant, they throw off infrasound to kind of stun their prey, makes it easier, dulls their senses. Now, I will say this. I had my senses dulled, of course. I was paralyzed, of course. But man, if it was a big dose. Yeah. You know, it was I mean, I've heard of people having nausea after having hit with infrasound. One of my good friends, a friend of mine's coming on the show next week, was hit by infrasound and fell off her horse, right? So it does give you that unsteady feeling. Yeah. But, you know, to knock a woman off the boat, I don't care that she was little. That's quite a thing. And I'm a 200-pound man, and I stumbled back. And I'm lucky I didn't fall off, because it was a small boat, as I said. So perhaps it was. But the depth of this roar, you guys, and the thing that, of course, always happens with my encounter, there was like nobody on the lake,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because I tell you what, that roar to me could have been heard miles away.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And when I first dropped that video, and a guy that follows me on the channel, he's been in touch with me several times, and he's heard those same roars from that same lake. And in
Oh.
fact, yeah, in fact, what he's done is I I from my vantage point from the lake to the shoreline to the woods is where I seen the creature or the entity, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So this man charted it on Google Maps from my description, and he went in on the back end from the highway and went into that area because he said, Rob, no, there's something out here because he's heard the same howls at night. And he went back into that area, kind of looking for footprints, tracks, any evidence. But he says, man, it was so marshy back there that he doesn't know how something that's 800 pounds could stay on top of the land. There's like a lot of swampy land, right? A lot of wetlands.
Yeah.
So, and then throughout the last 5 years, probably 3 or 4 people have said that, look, that they've heard they've not seen anything, but they've heard what I described, the scream, the roar from the distance. And you know, another thing really quickly, you guys, is this takes place in Wexford County, Michigan. Now, Wexford County is, well, they say it is the Dogman capital of the state of Michigan. A lot of Dogman sightings, and Cadillac is in Wexford. And also a lot of big, like if you go on the BFRO, I'm not the biggest fan. I will say this, though. There's been like 21 Bigfoot encounters in Wexford. So there's so people have called in reports on these things near Cadillac. So there is something out there. What is out there? You know what? Again, I call my experience, my encounter Bigfoot, but for that, just to look like night and day. You know, Sibylla Irwin, a good friend of mine, I met her a couple of years ago in Texas, has done the rendition of both of my Sasquatch, which I will be unveiling on my channel in about a month for everybody to check out.
Wow, I can't wait to see that. Wow, because that is really, you know, interesting that you said it kind of like metamorphosized. Like, wow.
Yeah, you know. And again, and over the years, I've definitely been doing my research, and I came across something on YouTube. I was looking up baboons. I first started looking up, studying apes and gorillas, things like that, right? But I came across baboons, and you know, a baboon, first of all, is terrifying if looking at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I was watching this wildlife on Discovery Channel, maybe it was, and the baboon had stopped, and you know what it did, you guys? It metamorphosed too. I think what it was doing in this video was it was trying to ward off a predator. So it has baboon looking face, but it went back. His skin got taut.
Whoa.
And his mouth, and he exposed, his mouth got bigger and showed all these teeth. And it did not look like a baboon. It looked like it wanted to terrify or scare off his predator. So when I seen that, that's the first thing that I've actually seen that kind of reminded me of what I saw. So my thinking today is this: maybe it was scaring me off, and maybe these Bigfoot do have this ability, but it's not been reported on like mine, like I reported, of course, on mine. Maybe this has happened and people haven't brought that forth. Maybe this does happen. Because I went to the extremities of looking in a mirror and contorting my face.
Yeah.
And if you work hard enough, you guys, you can change the appearance of your face as well. As embarrassing as that sounds, you can look pretty out there, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's a theory that it maybe was really Bigfoot and just did this. But you know, for me, again, it set me on this path, and I'm just glad that I'm functioning like a normal human being today, because I tell you, I thought I was like going to have to check myself into the nut house. I
Wow.
no offense to anybody, but
No. Yeah. And, we hear this and you do too.
Right.
yeah,
We hear
all
how
the time.
profound, and yours is really, it's a sad because of losing your girlfriend like that. Like, how tragic. I'm so sorry. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you
You
had
know,
said that it looked different than Patty. I mean, we know
well,
Gimlin.
yeah, I'll be showing the rendition. It looked like, yeah, totally different. Now, I will say this: it had the big muscular body. It was at least 9 feet to my estimation from where I was to the shoreline. Beautiful reddish brown coat of hair,
Mm-hmm.
flowing hair. Like I said, I'd put that on my wall in my home.
Yeah.
But that face, the original face, not the demon, it looked like a human being. Again, you hear about hunters, you hear the stories line up. What is this? And it's a Bigfoot, so they say, but they don't want to shoot it because it looked too human. Well, this face originally was human, but it was a very disturbing looking human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not quite human, but not quite animal.
Mm-hmm.
If you can kind of
Yeah.
picture that.
Wow.
But then the thing that it metamorphosed into certainly was not human at all, and I gladly would have shot it
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
thinking. But
Mm-hmm.
the first experience was I gotta pull on the brakes a little bit because I don't know what this is,
Yeah.
you know. So it was very human. I saw humanoidish. It looked
Mm-hmm.
so
Wow.
so hard to describe. I can't wait to show the pictures, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was there, and but not like Patty. It had some human features. It did. It really did.
Do you think that it was like deformed?
Well, yeah, I say kind of deformed looking. Like it
Okay.
looked like an old. It was just like, and plus, like I said, it looked kind of older. I mean, the skin
Mhm,
was kind of grayish, crusty looking.
mhm,
If you see the Patterson Gimlin film or any rendition of Bigfoot, kind of smooth, maybe hair. They look natural. This thing
mhm.
was like from the onset, like unnatural.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, you could describe it maybe as a person was through a fire and had disfigurement on their
Oh,
face.
wow, wow. And
Yeah.
who knows?
There's so many
Uh,
different
right. Yeah. And
avenues.
there are so many. Yeah. Somebody I think Brian Barber had said about how the sound that he heard just kind of, yeah, it goes in like through your chest, and
Yeah.
so he can't imagine, um,
Yeah. And and
being,
and, and here's
whoa.
the thing too about it. I know I mentioned it, but when it opened that big humongous mouth, it didn't move the lips. I mean, hell, there was no lips. It was just an gaping hole from
Mhm.
my vantage point. But that sound without
Oh,
moving a muscle, and it's kind of like you had a loudspeaker and blasted it on 10, right?
mhm,
It didn't
mhm.
move, and it just kind of penetrated my body.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
and I could feel the energy hitting me.
Mhm.
I could
Oh,
feel it.
gosh, yeah.
Wow.
One time there was one time that I was, and it was a year ago, and it'll be a year ago, October 7th, that I was grunted and huffed at in the woods. And that was what solidified, beside the fact that there wouldn't be anything else in there that should be making that kind of noise. But the fact that I felt it, like it, that sound, like concussion almost, right? Like you
Yes.
feel it hit your body. Mine, it was much softer when it did it. It wasn't, I don't, I think it wanted to get me out of there, but it wasn't like trying to scare the, shit out of me. Which is what wow. And I can't even imagine. That's so terrifying. Mm.
And even like I said, I take what I do seriously on the channel, and moving forward from 2018, I even I'll listen to audio. I'll be honest. Am I a big picture guy, video guy? When I see something, will I look at it? Yeah, but would I really invest my time in is audio?
Mhm.
Or what I
Yeah.
do, and I'm not even going to say even Bigfoot audio. I will listen to foxes, wolves, bears, all their different sounds, because I did not realize this until maybe a couple months ago that I was listening to the sounds of Mother Nature, and it didn't tell you what it was until the end of the sounds. And there was this animal from the wilderness that had 15 or 20 different shrieking, shrilling, what do you want to call vocalizations that I was not familiar with. Maybe one of the 50 that I heard.
Wow.
I'm like, what in the heck is this thing? And it was a fox.
I was going to say a fox. Oh, holy crap, right? They can make.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the
Yes.
different sounds that they make, Grizzly? Oh my, you
Oh
probably have.
yeah. If you're not familiar with it,
Yes.
it will scare the bejeebies out of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
listen to that audio. I was,
Gosh.
of course I wasn't scared. I know it was audio, but I'm like, wow, if I heard that, I'd be creeped out too,
Yeah.
And
But oh
yeah.
gosh.
So that's what I always tell people too. Now that I'm more seasoned, I'm more into this. It's like you got to be familiar with your surroundings. If you are a hiker, a camper, or if you're a Bigfoot researcher, whatever you are, whatever your taste is, you really got to be familiar, and you really got to look up too. You got to look all around, because you've heard the stories that I believe that Bigfoot exists. I believe cryptids exist, and I believe that we walk past them every day. If you're an avid hiker, an avid camper, we walk past these things every day, I believe.
Yeah. I agree.
But they are the masters of disguise, right? Or the
Yep.
hide and seek champions, whatever.
Of the word. Yes.
Great,
Right. Yeah. What do you think that they are inherently? What do you do you have any?
Yeah, again, after talking to so many different people, I flip flop, and I readily say that I think that it's a humanoid of some sort. But when I say that, you guys, it's kind of a loose term. I think they're flesh and blood with paranormal abilities, I guess. Certainly what I saw, the original being or Bigfoot, like I said, it was flesh and blood. It had the coat of hair. It had the human-looking face. It looked like a mammal, right? But then it turned into that other thing. And then you hear stories about Bigfoot appearing and disappearing, the cloaking aspect. I had Ron Moorhead on my show several months ago, The Quantum Bigfoot, that book, very good book. And he told me, Rob, 30 years ago, if you would have met me and said, hey, Ron, I think Bigfoot is part of the woo or the paranormal, he'd have told me, young man, turn around and go home. I no longer want to speak with you. Now he tells me that he fully believes that Bigfoot's a part of the woo. In the book, The Quantum Bigfoot, he believes that these creatures can take their energy, their mass, and take their mass and transition it into energy.
Yeah.
Which is why they can disappear, or they can be in point A and point B in a minute. But then he says, what about portals? Then again, once I started this, I didn't know I'd be talking about portals, different planes, different dimensions, different realms, mind speak. I just thought I was saying what the damn thing was I saw, but now I'm more confused today than I was in 2018,
Yes. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
That's
why there is no experts. If anyone tells me an expert, I'm saying bye-bye. Take a hike. You ain't no expert.
Yeah, it is like the more that you get into this. Wow. Does anybody have?
It's so cliche. Really quick, it's so cliche.
Yeah.
The more you know, the less you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Lala.
Does anybody have any questions in the chat? You can hit us up now. Wow. What about you, Grizzly? What are your thoughts?
I agree with him. I totally agree with him. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I know that certain countries use infrasound and sound to cure cancer. So I know that they're using frequency to do things in people's spines, like mine, to send nerves, to block receptors, to stop pain for going to the brain. So when it comes to infrasound, there's no telling what kind of damage it can do to people's bodies. And there are studies coming along now, which the government, or G-Man, referred to G-Man, knows that they can actually cause permanent and damage to internal organs with frequencies. And they're using that right now as a weapon. So
again, it refers back to then Cindy, the internal organs. That's my belief, though. I'll tell you this. I don't believe that heart attack stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Could I be wrong? Absolutely, I could be, right? I think the organs were messed up.
Yeah, it's certainly. There's a lot of. I would think that first thing is I would think.
Because I'm not really into coincidence. I don't think that's really a thing I believe in. But I tell you what, to get hit with that, for her to fall, for me to feel it hit my body and mess me up. 2 months later, you're no longer with us.
Right.
I think that has something
and
to do
very
with it.
traumatic. Exactly. Brian Barber has a question. Wait, why can't I? Okay. Where about in Michigan do you like to go? He said, I'm a Benzie County guy.
Well, Benzie County. I live in southeastern Lower Michigan, so I'm in Wayne County. In fact, where I live, to get to a nice forest, I gotta go about 100 miles north. So where I go is typically northern Michigan. Well, actually, central Michigan and above is where all the cool forests are. I mean, there's a lot of woods around me. Don't get me wrong, but I like to go where less people go, right?
Right. Penny Van's asking, she agrees, she thinks that is what happened to your girlfriend. And she said, Rob, did you ever get checked out medically after it?
No. I mean, you're talking to a guy that got his first physical, in 20 years. No, I did not.
Okay.
Man, right, Grizzly? We don't like to go to the doctor.
No, I don't. I'm a guinea pig.
I know.
Don't talk to me about chiggers, war criminal.
Hey, listen,
I got eaten alive.
I messed up to begin with, so I don't need to further add to that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Wow. So what else? Let's see. What else can we talk about? We've about 5. Oh, we don't have that much time.
Yeah, we got a little.
Are you okay?
I'm waiting for the phone call. I can go a little longer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that's is why my channel's set up. Bigfoot Mission Rob on YouTube and my book. So I did that, and I love doing this, you guys. But I will tell you this: throughout my entire life, I've always experienced weird stuff. I'm the type of guy that, here's a story. It's not Bigfoot related, but when I was about a younger kid, I was probably, first of all, I was like 3rd or 4th grade. There's a kid that lived in my neighborhood who went to the same school as me. In about 3rd or 4th grade, I told my mom and dad that I said, I forgot his name. I'm going to call him Billy. I said, Mom, and Billy used to come over, we used to play because he lived down the block from me. And I told my mom and dad, I said, look, I don't like this kid, Billy. What do you mean, Rob? And I said the word, I think he's evil. And I, as a third grader, you don't really throw that terminology out. But I said that. I said, there's something I don't like about him. Oh, you just don't like him because, he likes your brother more than you, or whatever the hell they said.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I said, no, I just don't like him. And if you know me personally, I like everybody. I there's not a person that I don't like. I'm the type of guy that goes into a mobile gas station and I strike up friends, right? Immediately. So, okay, fine. So I stopped hanging out with him, made my own choice. And then we get into like junior high. Billy is my junior high. Billy, there's something bad about Billy. And I would even tell my friends, don't hang out with Billy. High school, you guys, Billy in my gym class, I don't like this guy. Prior to any of this, I can sum up a person very quickly. I know your intentions in a minute if I meet you. I know if you're good or bad or in between. I have that sense. But with this kid, my senses were really heightened. I go off to college. I leave Billy behind. Good, I don't have to deal with this guy, I get home from college, 4 years. Well, I'm 4-year school and came home on the holidays. You know how that works. And when I finally graduated, I get home. My mom and dad, we got to tell you something, Rob. I go, what? You know that kid Billy? I go, yeah, that evil kid that you guys. Well, Rob, he is evil because he's in prison. He murdered his grandmother.
Oh, wow.
I knew
Wow.
that I could
All
have
that
stopped
right.
it. Hey, man, I could have stopped this kid. You know, when I was in grade school, I'm not stop him, but I
Yeah.
had that. And but
Yeah.
I have this ability with people where I can sense a lot of people. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't call it a gift. But then I thought that everybody had this intuition. Well, I was told it's much more than intuition. What is it?
Mhm.
You hear the empath, they throw that word out. I don't
I
really know what that means. But
yeah.
I know I can judge character very quickly.
Yeah.
Very
I
quickly.
mean, I would say that that's definitely at least, yeah, empathic. Yeah.
And
Um, we have a question. Dear Rob, I know you lost Cindy, but do you think you were meant to experience this somehow, or would you rather have not seen it?
no, today, as of right now, the 21st of September, 2023, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Would I go if I could go back in time and change it, I would not. Because I think it did happen for a reason.
Mhm.
I think that my purpose today is just to, and I'm not unique to this. People do the same thing I do. They tell other people's stories. They have channels. The difference is I can sympathize and I'm empathetic with those people that were lost and alone like myself.
Mhm.
And I understand that they want to be in anonymity and they don't want to be judged. And I think I'm doing that for them. And again, I'm not unique. I'm not putting this all on my shoulders because I'm not. Many people do it, so don't take it that way. But I enjoy doing it because I think I have something to offer people.
Yes.
And no, I as much as I love Cindy, life does go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've come to that term. I've come to that, and I
Mhm.
don't mean to sound
No, yeah.
rude about it because I love the woman, but you know,
Sure. Yeah.
these
Yep.
things happen. They happen for a
Yes.
reason. I said I don't believe in coincidence, but I do believe life experiences is a whole different ball of wax that you have to take. You have to take it in and evaluate it and move forward with life, right?
Mhm. Right. Right. Yep. Yep. I just want everybody to in our viewers, because I feel like this is such a profound thing that really, and this is just, I mean, yours is really a tragic story because of losing Cindy, but it really, affected your life in so many ways. And I want them, like, we always need to be thinking about situations like this when somebody says, hey, look at, I heard this sound, or I got this picture, and then you have the skeptics or just the trolls,
Yeah.
immediately jump all over the person. Gosh, that makes me so mad. Like, I say on my page, I'd rather err on the side of, like, allowing someone to just, spread a hoax around if it's real, than to accuse a person that really does have a traumatic situation, a traumatic experience that's really affected them, then, to shut them down, because that just breaks my heart. Oh.
You know, and I'm right there with you, Barb, and I love that because on my channel, most people that follow me know this. I will say I believe. Tell
Mhm.
me whatever you want to tell me. Hey, maybe I think that you're full of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm still going to allow you. I'm not going to troll you. I'm
Mhm.
not going to
That's right.
ridicule you. I didn't walk in your shoes. You know,
Mhm.
quite
Right.
frankly, my story, you could call me a BS artist, but I don't care what you would say because it
Mhm.
happened to me and I know it happened. I wouldn't be
Mhm.
doing this if this did not happen to me.
Right, right.
That's the
Yep,
difference, you know?
yep.
So I really I present a safe place for people to go. And if there's a troll in my chat, they get zapped. And
Yeah.
frankly, I don't get too many of them. And I can
No,
probably
no,
say
you
that
don't.
today.
Yep.
So now I'm
Yeah,
not huge. I mean, maybe when I have
yeah.
50,000 people, then yeah,
Wow.
you're gonna everyone comes out of the
Yeah,
woodwork.
everybody's, yeah, that's, yeah.
And then you get every
Um,
a-hole in the land
right.
wants to see what you're all about,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. The law of large numbers.
Yeah.
Brian Barber wants to know, what's next for you, Rob? Do you have any adventures coming up?
I do. Well, I do have an adventure coming up. I did Dogman Island today on my show. It's in my book. It's on a video. I had Jessica Jones on. Jessica and I we're making plans to maybe go there next summer.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then my buddy, you know, it's funny because my buddy, he's not my buddy. He's my neighbor, and he moved in 3 years ago. And he asked me what I do, as far as my podcast. And I told him, he goes, really? Well, he said, well, it's a small world. He goes, I'm into that stuff. So he showed me a picture of this oversized print. And you guys, it's pretty cool. He had, it looks like a big wolf print or dog print. And we don't have wolves where I live, as I said earlier, but we do have stray dogs for whatever reason. I don't live in the ghetto, but I've got stray dogs all over, and they're wild dogs, and they're kind of scary. Shows me this print where I live, you guys. There's a big horseshoe. It's about 7 miles long, and it's water. It's a creek, and where I live in my neighborhood, it's wooded on either side, and there's a nice little creek. And there's wildlife in there. There's fish in there. He shows me that he saw this track down by our house 5 miles upstream. So I'm kind of doing that here in a couple of weeks because he showed me this big, cool print. And I never thought to look there and research there because it's in my backyard. I tell everybody that Dogman and Bigfoot's everywhere, but I don't believe it's in my backyard. Call me, call me, what's that word I'm looking for?
Like a hypocrite or not,
Yeah, it's not where I live. It can't be possible.
Yeah, not in my
I preach it
backyard.
every day that it's everywhere. That's my next adventure. I'm excited about that because it's a really cool looking track or a print. And the fact that the same creek is about a week ago, I was at the creek and I was walking up to the 7-Eleven or gas station, whatever it was, taking a walk. And I seen this big ass bird that looked unnatural. We don't have big birds around here. And I swear, because the creek is like 12 feet wide from end to end in some areas. And I swear, you guys, this bird, it was a bird. I saw from the rear end. It had this wingspan that encompassed the entire creek. Now, I heard of the turkey gizzard, or
right.
Maybe it's that, but where I live,
turkey buzzard,
turkey buzzard,
right?
Turkey buzzard,
yeah. A person told me that could have been that, but it looked pretty intense, and I've never seen that. Now we do have hawks around here, so there are things down there that I'm gonna start exploring to answer that question, and yeah. So, but I get out in the woods whenever I can, and look. Now I look for evidence. My brother, who's a big hunter, always looks for evidence. And if I got a quick story for you guys, if we got time, about my brother.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Now he knows about my Bigfoot. And this is a great story. So my brother, he's been hunting for 20 years. And so he calls me up last year. He goes, because he believes my story and all this, and he watches my show and stuff. So he's like, he calls me from his deer blind, from his hunting area. He goes, hey, Rob, you got to tell me if this is like that Bigfoot, man. I go, okay, well, tell me the story. He goes, yeah, I lined up a deer today. I shot it. I seen that I shot it, and I tracked it. And he goes, I tracked the blood trail several hundred yards, and I tracked the blood to this big tree where the blood trail stopped. He goes, now, Rob, and I looked down, and he can see the impression as to where the deer fell. And he's a pretty good tracker now, 20 years. He's real experienced. And he knows it's the imprint of the deer. And he goes, Rob, the weird thing is I looked around. There's not a hunter around. There's no four-wheelers around. There's nobody around. So he's thinking, where did this deer go? Because it stopped right there. The blood trail stopped. The impression of the deer is there. So he's thinking, nobody stole it. No one took it. He knows for a fact. He goes, then I look at the base of this tree, and he goes about 12, 15 up the base of this tree. It looked like the deer was dragged up the tree because all the blood is now going up the tree.
No, I'm gone. I'm out. No.
Whoa,
and then he goes to me.
Oh my God.
Do these things, swing from tree to tree? Because the deer is gone, man.
Wow.
And I says, man, I've heard similar stories. I know that Bigfoot go up in trees.
Yeah.
But then again, to contradict that, there ain't no 800-pound animal that's going to be on a tree limb. It's going to snap, isn't it not? I mean, I don't know how big this tree was.
I don't know.
I said, man, it was something. I don't think a human, definitely a human didn't
Wow.
steal the deer.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. Wow. And nothing else that would have,
No.
drug it up, and then it disappears.
And I
I
said,
know
look,
that they, yeah,
I
we
said,
know they
there's no
climb
four.
trees.
Yeah, I mean, I heard they
Mhm.
climbed tree. I mean,
Yep.
and again, what do we know, right?
Yeah.
I've heard stories of Bigfoot manifesting out of a tree stump.
Yeah. Yeah.
I-
Barb Shoop, that is out here in Washington State near me, she had actually seen a big one going like, I don't know, going through the treetops, right, Grizzly? So
Yeah.
she said you always have to look up, and she said, she said, she didn't think that the trees would. Now we have big trees, but this is up in the treetops. Like she didn't think it would actually hold something that big. But I don't know whether they're that. I don't know.
and
So
then we're talking back and forth. Yeah, exactly, Barb. And we're talking back and forth because some predators like cougars. Now, again, we don't have big cats where I live. They'll
yeah,
take their kill. They'll take it up and hide it up in a tree.
yeah.
And come back later and eat on it.
Mhm.
They'll hide the carcass.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
this was unusual because he says, Rob, I even looked. There was no four-wheeling tracks. There was no human tracks, but there was no tracks around the deer either, though. It was just the deer tracks.
Mhm.
Saw the impression, saw the blood, the spatter up the tree, and that's it. I said, well, if it wasn't a Bigfoot, it was something strange.
Did we lose? Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Yes,
like,
all right.
I would have been out. I would have been like,
Yeah, oh my gosh.
hell. No. Look,
Wow.
hey.
Yeah.
Jeez. Holy what?
Oh yeah. You know what? And again, that's another aspect of all this, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, I mean,
Yes.
I've got reports where they actually dropped a deer and they're sitting there and they watch it, right? Fall in the field. And next thing you know, here comes Bigfoot, pick it up, sling it over the shoulder, and just walk off with it. And they're like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing?
Wow.
And they're like, and they never go hunting again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I've heard those same
Gosh.
stories. And not
Crazy.
to reiterate about a lot of the things I've come across and people spoke to me about, but a lot of
Yeah.
people don't go back in the woods. And I could go on, and you hear these reports about encounters in the national forest, the state parks, that people, the ABC want to cover up, right? Because they want your money. It's all about money, you guys.
Yeah.
That's why this stuff
Yeah.
explodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. That's
Yep.
right.
So-
Somebody had said, wait, I would go back. Was it Susie B? Susie B. Rob, do you need anyone to carry your equipment around on Dog Island?
Oh yeah, Susie. Susie B. Again. I've seen her twice today. This is from Susie B.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
She's a great artist. This is a rock. She says
Oh,
to me,
wow.
Rob, what do you like? I said, I like for animals. You go lions.
Yeah.
Painted me a lion. And she knows I keep it right in the studio. It's
Aw,
got some
that's
good luck charm. I was supposed to meet her in Las Vegas. But I fell off a ladder and broke my knee.
Oh
So
no!
I couldn't
Oh,
make it.
darn!
So
Wow,
I
how's
got
your
this.
knee now?
Huh?
How are you still like? I mean, how
I'm
is your knee?
I'm 90% now.
Oh god!
So I haven't been in the woods too much this summer.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Needless to say.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Shout out to Susie B.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, I think. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention once again, if I don't know if anybody missed the beginning, he has a fantastic book.
Yep.
And True Cryptid Encounters, Book 1. Bigfoot. I'm trying to get it. Yep.
Yeah.
And where can our viewers get this book?
Well, that's on Amazon right now, and it's I think it's on my YouTube channel. There's a link in that always you can find, and that I think if you just type in on Amazon, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, it pulls up. I do believe.
Yes, that's how I got it.
And there's
It's
a link.
quite
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, is that okay? Cool.
Easy to find. Yep, that's how I got it. Yeah, and we were saying it's a great read. It's I think it'd be a great gift for anybody that's that's into that, young teens or just a fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
and again, a lot of people I see from my channel, and again, Bigfoot Michigan Rob's my YouTube channel. I tell you guys, I'm on Tuesdays 9 at night, Thursdays at 1 in the afternoon, and I also do videos on the weekend about encounters. A lot of those encounters that I've done have made it into the book. So yeah, and you have a great chat room. A lot of people again I'm familiar with. So big shout out. I love all you guys because without I like doing it for the people, right? I mean, it's what it's all about for
Yes,
me.
you obviously do. We have we'll take one last question. Brian Barber said, "What's your dream Bigfoot spot that you haven't been to yet, or do you have
Well,
one?"
I don't have a dream spot, but you know what? Wouldn't we all like to go to Alaska or the Pacific Northwest?
Well,
That's for me.
I live in the Pacific Northwest, so yeah,
Well, oh, you do?
yeah, in
Oh, you in
Washington State.
Oregon? Well, see, I'd
Washington
love to go
State.
to Washington State.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, they're living right next to me, so it is real. It's true. I never thought
Good.
that.
Well, I'm gonna have to pay you a visit here. I'll put on my bucket list. Well, maybe not the bucket list. I want to do that soon. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love
yeah.
to go there, but Alaska, I think would be a cool place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just the sheer beauty of Alaska in itself.
definitely, definitely. Well, we really thank you for joining us today.
Yes,
I had a
absolutely.
great-
It's been wonderful.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got together.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you had me on, and yeah, no, I had a great time.
Glad
And Barb,
you know that-
I do have to say, Barb, thank you for posting all my videos. I know I
sure.
do it.
Oh no, I enjoy it. I love when I can catch your shows, and I can't get on live, but I watch.
Yeah, well, you're 3 hours behind me, right? Yeah, so
right.
it happens.
Yeah,
But everybody out there, replay. That's why there is replay.
That's
Replay,
right.
everybody.
That's right. Mhm.
And it is free. It is free.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well,
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast and around the world, that's a wrap. We'll see you
Good
this
night,
evening.
everybody.
Take care.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Rob.
you.
Everybody, thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.